Hello and welcome to the Science Fiction and Fantasy Factory. I'm your host, Mookie Spitz, and on the factory floor, I've got Margret Treiber. Welcome aboard. How you doing, the Margret?
I'm doing.
Where'd you get the title, the Margret?
I don't know. It just sort of happened. I was, I don't know. One day I was signing up for something, and I figured that not many people spelled their name my way in this country, so I just did it, and then found out later on my name is really common in Germany, which makes it interesting.
And where are you from originally?
Originally, I am from Brooklyn and Long Island and New Jersey, in that
All right,
order.
Long Island. I lived in Long Island for a couple years, and I
Ah, cool.
lived in Brooklyn and Manhattan, and I just moved about a year and a half ago to California. So we were neighbors. Are you still in the New York area?
No, no, I am out in the desert in New Mexico now. I've been to California. I lived in the San Jose area for a while. I lived in Virginia for a while. I've been all over the place. So, but yeah, my origins come from, being a New Jersey mutant mostly. My parents moved out of Long Island when I was like about 9, so I did a lot of growing up in New Jersey. So,
Jersey. Like
yep.
Woody Allen used to say that they should just pave New Jersey and make it a parking lot for Manhattan, which conveys the Manhattan attitude. There's people don't realize that parts of New Jersey are gorgeous. New Jersey has some real spots in it, and it's got a lot of diversity. And there's something for everybody in New Jersey, all the way from Tony Soprano to the mansions to Hippie Town too, right?
Yeah. I grew up I guess about like 20 minutes outside of New York, New York City, Manhattan. And but yeah, I was there for a long time, and I actually have lived in other as an adult in other parts of New York. Like I've been in the Bronx and in the Upper East Side. So, I'm not allergic to New York. I like living there. But the problem with living there is that you end up not enjoying it as much as when you go to visit it. I ended up doing more stuff surviving than actually touristing.
I loved New York until I hated it. And I finally, it was just too much. And I zigged and zagged. I was in Long Island, Battery Park, Brooklyn, Lower East, Upper West. And I used to city bike all over. You know, those rental city bikes? I
Oh,
was the
nice.
city bike maniac. So I know New York almost better, arguably, than most New Yorkers who were born and raised there. I've been all over. But to your point, it's tough living and it's just such a hassle, and the view is better from New Jersey. When you're in New Jersey, you see the Manhattan skyline, and when you're in Manhattan, you see the New Jersey skyline.
Oh, New Jersey is not bad.
Actually better in New Jersey.
Yeah, we had the mountains, and we'd go up in the mountains and we could see the city skyline from there. So that was cool. But yeah, yeah, I mean, there are pluses to both. I mean, it was nice having a lawn in suburbia in New Jersey as opposed to like having smog coming in the windows of New York. So, yeah.
I've got a washer dryer actually in my place now, which
It,
after living in Manhattan for a decade is like, that's gold. So
exactly. Yeah.
it's all relative. So we met as co-contributors, and I'm holding it up here for our viewers, the 2026 Sci-Fi Anthology for Science Fiction Novelists. It's edited by S.A. Gibson. I had him on the podcast a couple months ago, Steve. He's a cool
Awesome.
cat. And you've been in the anthology last year too, is that right? This is
That
not
is
your first
correct.
time. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, and this year you've got the story Endurance, which we can talk about, and I've got my story, which is the seed story for my debut science fiction novel, Johnny Fazzuli and the Transfinite Reality Engine. So we've met through Steve's anthology. And I met Steve at the LA Comic-Con, where he's just kind of wandering around, and he came up to our booth. I was with Ingrid Moon, another science fiction writer. And Steve gave his card and said, "Hey, I got an anthology. Submit something, and if we like it, you get to be published." So I got published there, and then reached out to you and the other contributors to see if you want to join the pod and talk about it.
Cool. Yeah. I mean, and they paid too. A lot of anthologies ask you to be in them and they don't even pay. So this was a bonus.
It's not $1,000,000, but to your point, just that there's some coin coming our way is nice, and it's already getting some good reviews and some traction, and it's
Yeah.
selling. So go to Amazon. I'll put the link, folks, for the 2026 anthology. The Margret has her endurance. I've got mine, and I'm going to be talking to a bunch of other authors as well. But now it's all about you, Margret. You've got a few interesting novels out there already. Death Engine Protocol, awesome
Yes.
title and premise, and you have Japanese Robots Love to Dance. So in terms of titles alone, you win. And you've been in this anthology, and I see you've been in a number of other anthologies. So give us a little background. Tell us about yourself. How'd you get into writing science fiction, and especially this kind of goth style science fiction? From what I can tell, a little bit of H.P. Lovecraft, especially in your short story in this year's anthology, mixing the science futurism with the conjuring of the magic and the seance. It's kind of cool.
Oh, okay. Well, I started writing like really bad stuff when I was like in junior high school. I think I wrote a story about some kid I had a crush on, which was hysterical. And my mom found it, and I was horribly embarrassed. And it was like this, like he dies, and like I wrote it like his mother comes, and as like instead of giving her a name, it's like, and his mom came. And this guy's mom, actually, it's even funnier than that. This was my classmate in elementary school that I had a tremendous crush on, who had no chance of ever liking me because he's a popular kid. And he turns out that his name is Andrew Shue, who is also went on to be in television. So so I had an early crush on him, and I wrote this story about how he died in my arms, and his mother came and said it must be love and all this stuff. And my mom found it, and I was embarrassed. And that was like the last time I wrote for a little while, until I found Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, which my mom provided for me, and then everything was science fiction. But the fact is that when I was, from the time I can remember, I was sitting on my father's lap watching Star Trek. So it was destined to happen
Yeah,
that way.
Hitchhikers was really influential for the entire generation. And slightly younger folks might not appreciate how iconic that book was. It started out as a radio show, Douglas Adams, and then it became a novel, and then a serialized extension. You had the restaurant at the end of the universe, so long and thanks for the fish, right? Life, the universe, and everything. And
And you know what?
that
It took me like 30 years before I would wear a digital watch again.
yeah, and you might be pursuing your perfect cup of tea and carrying your towel around. He really is a genius in the sense of just being so out there, out of the box, and just so clever in his juxtapositions. I think my all-time favorite Douglas Adams ism is how the super advanced starship Heart of Gold in his novel navigates, and it has a bunch of robots in an Italian bistro simulation, and they argue over how they split the check. And this is classic Douglas Adams to me, that the advanced mathematics required to figure out that calculation is the most sophisticated mathematics in the universe. and that's what powers the engine of this hyperdimensional spaceship. And that's quintessential, which is you take everyday little quirky bullshit and then you mash it up with this stellar cosmic panorama for absurdity, humor, and also wonder. So I love that guy, and he influenced me a lot too. I think my novel has some elements of Douglas Adams in there too, and Star Trek. I
And
remember
Star Trek.
running home from school to see reruns of the original Star Trek on WGN TV, Channel 9, Chicago. Grew up with that stuff. So
It
it
was
gets
on Channel 11 at was it like 11 o'clock at night on Friday nights when I was a teenager, and I would go out and I'd have to run home in time to catch it on the little black and white TV in the kitchen while I made myself something to eat after I'd been out debauching. So
good for you. Yeah, I'm a snob too. They say TOS, the original series. You had everything that came after Captain Picard, all that. And to me, it seemed to get more and more emo and politically correct, and it lost a lot of the zing of the original.
well, the recent ones for sure. I mean, I barely made it through watching what is this? Starfleet Academy. I was just like cringing the whole time. Um I couldn't make it through Discovery at all. Brave New Worlds was I haven't seen all that much of it, but at least it was like closer to original Trek. But the one that I liked the best of the new Treks was Deep Space Nine because they had to sit in all the crap that they created. Like they couldn't just fly off and get away from it.
Yeah,
So
they had to
I
kind
like
of
that.
deal with it, and it was grungier
Hmm.
and a lot more visceral. I've got friends my age who actually love that show too. That they were TOS people all the way, and they love that. I just had problems with Deep Space Nine that they weren't going anywhere, which, to your point, was part of the strength. But that boldly go aspect was gone, and they were all always sitting there stewing in their own stuff. So,
It was really good character development though. And then there's the episode that everyone talks about, the one with I forgot what it was called though, the one where Cisco tries to bring the was it the Romulans into the war and stuff, and that one was just awesome. Oh my God. It was just, yeah. And
yeah,
and
smart
so
stuff.
yeah, smart. It was good writing. That's what I liked about Deep Space was there was a lot of good writing, and there was a lot of good comedy written in there. When you dealt with the Ferengi, they always had good comic angles on it and stuff, and it was fun. So I like
You
that.
bring, you bring a lot of that comic-y kind of edge. So you have gritty from what I've seen of your writing. You got gritty realism. You've got this cynical sense of humor. I not to compare, but a little bit of the Martha Wells murder bot kind of
I
flavor.
was first. I just
You were first.
everyone who says
You
that.
give me
Uh,
claim. Okay.
I mean, I'm not saying that she's not original or anything like that. I'm not saying she copied me because certainly she did not. But I'm just saying that when people start saying, "Oh, you're like Martha Wells," I'm like, "Yeah, but I did it before she did it, so I don't know, man."
That's
Yeah.
fair. And it's both complimentary and insulting when you're compared to famous writers or writers who do the bestseller and then get adapted for TV and
Mhm.
film. It's flattering in the sense that, oh, well, you see that I've got at least commensurate talent and we're on the same page. And then to your point, it's a little derogatory because they feel you're derivative
Yeah.
and therefore unoriginal. And then you're just a copy of someone more successful. So it's a double-edged sword to make those comparisons, but people need some kind of basis to understand what you do and how you do it. It's one challenge I have with my debut novel where it's got Douglas Adams, Hunter S. Thompson, Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas is in there. And then you've got William Gibson, Neuromancer. And it's not conscientiously these elements, but I'm hearing that there's this and then there's this and it's all kind of mashed together. And then, well, what about Mookie?
Yeah.
I wrote something original and it's complex in that way, and that's why you're confused. And then you tell me you don't like it because it's either too much or not enough like things you're familiar with.
Yeah, and everyone will say that they want new and different, but really a lot of people just want the same stuff just repackaged,
Yes.
and that makes it tough too.
100%. It's their comfort zone. And when you
Mhm.
get out of their comfort zone, they're only going to get excited about it if they hear from other people that it's okay.
Yeah, yeah. I will
Yeah.
tell you right now, I've got like zero sales. Like I got books out and nobody buys
Good for
them.
you.
I like I mean I do marketing, I do all that stuff. I make like memes that I put up on Blue Sky and everything and X and everything else, and
Well,
I mean people
let's
like
talk
it.
about that for a second, because I get a lot of indie authors on, and I get a lot
Mhm.
of people listening and viewing who are curious about self-publishing. And are you spending any money on advertising? And I don't mean like putting up memes or just posting.
Well, first of all, I'm with Azoff Chem, which is my publisher, but we're small press, so it's kind of like that fine line of yeah, I'm not I'm indie, but I'm not like I'm not self-published. I mean, I had people editing, and I had and there were two typos in my book, and I kept changing it so much that my publisher said, "We're done. I don't care if there are two typos in your book. We're not changing it again." Um, so I challenge anyone who reads Death Engine to find the typos. Um, but
They're like typo Easter eggs.
yeah, but yeah, so I tried spending money on doing advertising, and it never got me anywhere. I've been hit. Now, I don't know how many of you are. I'm sure everyone is familiar with the fake book promoters that you get like 20,000 a day. I have a collection of like over 400 emails from fake book promoters, and I keep tabs on the new ones they do. Their current thing is now trying to get me to make a movie. That's their new angle.
And you can
Um,
tell AI scans your shit. So you get
mhm.
these customized spam emails like, I really loved your book. And in that scene, when you're doing this and doing that, that really moved me. And to your point, I think that that would make an awesome miniseries. I think that that would make an awesome movie. So hook up with me and I'll hook you up to make it happen in
Yep.
all of its variations, all like every damn day. So you publish, and they're on you like flies on shit.
And then they're like talking about stuff that didn't actually even happen in the book because two fake promoters ago someone put that in there and they synced up on that. Yeah. But so I have tried to hook up, like I did like some like book tours and book promotions and all that stuff with all the promises of, oh, so and so tried it, and that person who's the second cousin of this guy tried it, and they had tremendous success, and I someone on this book forum said it was great, and then you go and you try it and you get nothing. And so I stopped paying. The things I do pay for are my tools. Like I pay, okay, this is going to be controversial and I'm going to get canceled now, but I pay for ChatGPT, which helps me do my memes. I use Sora to generate my animations, and
Not anymore. They just canceled
I
Sora. So
know I am so screwed. Today was looking for a new animation tool. Okay, that's been my day. Um, I I turned the dark side and started poking at Grok, and and it looks like it might work, but it's really crappy at understanding what I'm trying to say. So I'm trying to understand what it wants from me. What does it freaking want from me? It's like I tell it, put a shirt on the robot, and it like embeds it in the robot. And I'm like, what the hell are you doing? So anyway, yeah. So so I use ChatGPT slash Dolly to generate my meme stuff. And I don't feel guilty about that per se because I'm not putting it on a cover. I'm not claiming it's art. I'm not trying to claim copyright or anything. I'm just putting the images up to give the feeling that I want to pass on so that I.
my promo website for my big debut novel, I just did a card site, and it's a promo. And it's fun, and it's all GPT, AI stuff. And I've
It's
interviewed
throwaway.
real artists who hate AI, and it jeopardizes their career. But I don't feel guilty about a promo site just because
No.
it's got utility to it, and I actually can see my characters come to life without too much drama. I'm not an artist, and I
Right.
took the face of a friend of mine who died young years ago. I grew up in Chicago. He's a good friend of mine, Tom, and I took his face and I had the AI embed it and embellish it for my protagonist. Johnny
Oh, awesome.
Fazuli is actually Tom Tlusty of Chicago. It's his face, and I gave him a big bouffant of blonde hair. And Tom also had Marfan syndrome, which is Abraham Lincoln's congenital disease. Tom was really tall and skinny. He had an indented chest plate. He had all these congenital anomalies related to the condition. He did Tai Chi.
Hmm.
So my Johnny has this morphology, does Tai Chi. He's a completely different personality. But why not? Right?
Why not?
It's meaningful to me. And I used ChatGPT while I was writing the book for research.
Oh, you know what is?
I've got some hard mofo science fiction in my science fiction book. And I did a lot of work to make the science make sense and to talk about trans universal travel and the technology, and then a lot of the thinking is grounded in real stuff, and it helped me pull up information and better understand the science to be more convincing and compelling in my book. Did it write my damn book? Not at all, but it's like a super Google. It was
It's
useful.
exactly what it is. And you know
Yeah.
what it's also really good for? If you plug your manuscript into it and say, find the continuity problems, it will tell you if you have any plot holes. It will tell you if there's anything that makes no sense, and it will tell you where to go fix it. And then you can just go in and use your own words and change it.
You know what I did? I pumped my whole damn book as a project in Chat
Hmm.
GPT. And it
Exactly.
analyzed it. I said, I don't care. Just take, you're going to steal it anyway and chop it up into tokens. So now my prose is out there, right, in the GPT. I don't
Well,
give a
they haven't stolen mine yet. And, every time I go look
yeah,
up the
but
books.
you know about if you pump it up there, they're going to chop it up. But what I do is I write really smart and interesting magazine articles and professional reviews of my book. So I don't get those now. So I have the GPT Chatty Bro write up like an Atlantic review of my novel. And I ask it to focus on certain themes, and I ask it to do a postgraduate level review of Johnny Fazuli. And it comes out, and it's just fun for me to see. It's kind of like other people are sexting with their bot, and it's their companion and helps them with their diet. And I get scholarly reviews of my novel. Why
Yeah,
not?
I've done that.
Why
I've had
not?
to do the reviews. Yeah. Um, I actually on my website I have reviews from those fake promoter robots
I
embedded
saw that.
in
That
that.
was very clever. I like that. That's like putting negative reviews almost on your book cover, like, this book sucks, like Monty Python used to do. But I saw that on your page, and I thought that was really entertaining. You had like real people giving you like testimonials and reviews, and then you had the bots. That's clever.
So yeah, I do use the AI to generate some of my ad stuff, and then I just go and I hit X and Blue Sky. Blue Sky is the best. Anyone who's watching this, if you tag your book promotions in Blue Sky with Book Sky, you will get a lot more responses that
Really,
way.
I gave up on Book Sky over the summer because
Oh
it just
yeah,
I thought I was just pissing in the wind. But you're saying that it's decent?
yeah, yeah, it's decent. In fact, one of my friends, I don't know if you know Bill McSci-Fi, he was saying that he put out a bunch of ARC review requests on Book Sky, and he got a crap ton. I'm trying to censor myself. Sorry. He
No,
got,
you can stick it F bomb. I'm already on explicit for
oh,
Apple
okay.
Podcasts. Someone said fuck, I think it was me on one of the podcasts. And when you do it on one episode, the
Yeah.
entire show gets explicit. And I even contacted Apple customer service, which is like, I just said fuck in one show. And then they're like, that's tough shit, buddy. You say it once and you're
You're
done. So
done.
go ahead.
Well, I'm used to being on Teams chats because for work, because I work remotely. So
You got to
I
behave.
automatically, as soon as I see the screen, I censor myself. Um, but yeah, so I do that, and then another side thing which isn't working the way I wanted to do, but started out as fun, is that I make these stupid videos with the robot doing stupid freaking crap, like smashing a lot of stuff. I don't know if you saw any of those.
Yeah,
Um,
that's fun.
I was hoping to use that to funnel book sales, but yeah, don't spend money, people. Whoever's listening to me, don't spend money. The only problem is that it takes time, and I don't have time because I have a full-time job, and so I haven't gotten any writing done. I have like half a novel done, the sequel to my to Death Engine and Japanese Robots, and it's not done because I keep marketing and making stupid videos.
Well,
Like,
let me push back just a little bit. All right.
yeah.
So I do a same kind of earned media focus. So I post the serialized version of the novel on Substack. That's one thing. I tweet my whole novel in reverse on X.
Oh,
So
really?
the novel's written in 3-line paragraphs, like lyric poetry. It's kind of cool. So that lends itself to tweets. So I've been tweeting my novel backwards from at Johnny Fazuli on X. And then when you go to the profile, you can actually read it linearly, and you're getting the whole novel. So it goes out like a lighthouse every day, 4 or 5 tweets. And so I do shit like that. And
That's
then
good.
I
That's good stuff.
repost, and it's fun. And then I got my promo site and all that. However, I haven't really done a paid ad campaign for my book. It doesn't sound like you do it, but here's the thing. Um, marketers are doing surveys and they're figuring out, and I did a whole podcast on this before, that the writers actually making money spend at least half of everything that comes in on more advertising.
But you
So
gotta. My point of view is that I gotta start making money first before I'm gonna take any money and throw it at any more advertising. Cause
it's a cat chasing its own tail. So you're
yeah,
starting at zero, and then you're just kind of coasting along. And you do memes, and you do what I'm calling earned media, which is more or less what I've been doing. I had another writer on, Lou Iovino, and he's gotten some decent sales. And he just told me too that he gets money in, and then he runs an ad campaign, and it's feeding
who does
itself.
he
And
run it through?
that's the only way he sells too.
What is he using? Did he say?
Yeah, he uses Facebook ads. He uses paid Facebook ads, and
Oh,
uh, and he does posts where he thinks he's getting some leverage, and then he runs the metrics. So when an ad is doing well, he'll put even more money into it, and then he'll make money, and then he'll pour more money into it.
that's
So
fine. If it's self-perpetuating, it's fine.
but what I'm saying though is it's pissing in the wind these days, where you've
Hmm.
got petabytes of data and everyone's getting all this shit for free. So why are they going
Hmm.
to pay you? Why are they going to actually go to Amazon or go somewhere and buy something when they're already seeing your fun memes and they're
Yeah.
already entertained by you? So taking that extra step and actually paying for content is like, who does that unless you're really ramming it down their throats?
And meanwhile, they'll just go for the famous people because
Of
they
course,
got they got
like
yeah.
everything else. Like Andy Weir now is ginormous. Did you see Project Hail Mary?
No, I did not.
Yeah, I was ranting about it on another podcast I did just the other day. Spoiler alert: I hated it. Everyone is going on and on. Project Hail Mary is the greatest thing. It sucks, and I'm just gonna say, frankly, never once did I have a feeling of awe or wonder or even fear that the entire species would be annihilated. It had zero dramatic tension and gravitas, and you just had Ryan Gosling flipping out. And you had the spider Muppet.
Oh,
So anyway, I
geez.
have a contrarian point of view about that, but I'm just reinforcing your point of view that you have a handful of people who are getting all the attention and making all the money,
Yeah,
which is
but that's
categorically
typical. Yeah,
yeah.
it's typical. But yeah, so I do a newsletter. I just started I guess about like maybe 6 months, maybe a little bit more. And I've got 222 people on my mailing list.
That's
I've
pretty good.
yeah, I did that through BookFunnel.
How'd you get them?
Okay, so this is what I did. I had a short story that I wrote related to my books, and I edited it up really good, and I put it up on BookFunnel. And to get it, you have to like actually sign up for my newsletter. But what I do is I join group promos on BookFunnels, which is bundled a whole bunch of people at once that are pimping their wares, and then and then they click on it, they want the book, they sign up. I would say out of all the people that signed up, I mean, maybe I lose about 5-10% of them in unsubscribe after they get the first newsletter. But, it's been enough of a climb that I've ended up 222. So,
That's
yes.
pretty good. And a newsletter and a mailing list is the backbone of every publisher's marketing. That's like your spine. That's really good.
So my plan is, I gotta nag some people still, but I want to take my short story book, pseudo vi Margret dump, and I want to make that make an art copy that I can put on a book funnel to give away as a second giveaway, because no one wants to buy my short story book. And so I'm not really trying to pimp that so much as I'm going to take it out of KU, and then give it away as like crack for people to go read my other stuff.
That's a good idea. That sounds fun.
Yeah, so that's what I'm planning to do next. I don't know if it's going to work yet. I mean, in theory, it should
Yeah.
work, but um, yeah. So my stuff, I do have my stuff all over the place. Most of the stories in the collection were published at one point in an anthology or magazine here and there. So
How do you connect to you've got the Jewish horror collection, you've got Steve's anthology, yearly anthology. For example, how did you hook up with S.A. Gibson?
well, okay. So that is because my friend Bill told me about it and I got him in there. And then I was such a jerk. I didn't tell him about the last one, the last submission. I'm like, but I thought you knew because you told me about the one before it. So I feel terrible. But yeah, he's really cool and he told me about that one. But most of the stuff that I find is either like a friend tells me, or I get it off the submission grinder. So what I usually do first is try to hit the pro markets, and no, I've never made a pro sale. So I've been rejected by like Asimov like 12 times. Um
I, I
and
like I like your candor. It's really great.
it's the truth. I
You
mean,
you you really are a consummate New Yorker too.
oh
Like
really?
you got a little of the Long Island accent, and you're just kind of like telling everyone how it is. This is
It's
very
how it
good.
is. Oh,
It's
and by
very
the
good.
way, my wife is a new Manhattan New Yorker. Like she totally makes fun of the New Jersey in me, and we have this fight. She's also a
Perfect.
physicist, so that's why my science is not shit, because she actually tells me when my science is shit, makes me fix it.
Very
So
cool. That's very cool.
so I have to give her the shout out of being the science advisor. And if anything's wrong in the books, it's because I didn't listen to her, not because of her science. Just putting out the
Good for
disclaimer.
her. Tell her if she wants to be on a podcast, I'll talk science. It's good.
Cool.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, so what I do is the submission grinder is an awesome free resource. It's like Duotrope, except for it's free. And you can go and you can put in on your parameters and keep track of everything. And it's really good for genre fiction.
Oh,
So,
I didn't even know about that. We'll put a link in your description for this
okay.
podcast. Help other authors out. I got a lot of listeners who are other authors too, so
Yeah,
that'd be cool.
it is awesome. And the guy who runs it, David, he is just like so totally cool. You can like send an email and you'll get a real response from a real human. So
Great.
that's cool. Yeah. Yeah, I totally love it. I hope I got the name right. I always hate when I do that. Now I'm like gonna Google. Yep.
You
Okay.
know who also responds is Arnie from Locus. You know Locus magazine. You send
Yeah,
that guy
yeah.
an email, and he must get like 18,000 emails and submissions like every 5 minutes. And I sent him an email. I told him like I want to send you my book. And he's like, all right, Mookie. Hey, it was like he responded the same day.
I don't think
So
I ever subbed there. I don't know why. I'm gonna have to find out why I've never
give
subbed
it a
there.
shot.
Yeah.
Send Arnie an email. He's very responsive of all the publishers.
Yeah. So yeah. So I got now. I got to make note. Go sub there. So I've been rejected by pretty much every major pro market there is. I, even one of them. I went to college with one of the people who own one of the magazines, and I
Uh-huh.
still can't get my shit in there. Like
That's really funny.
I'm like, dude, and like
Yeah.
we used to play D&D together. Come on now. Um, so yeah, but and I'm like, do I suck? What the fuck? But I do actually edit my stuff and everything, and I try to be original, and I have a wide range of stuff I've done. Although I prefer the like the robots and the genetically tweaked people, just because I just I'm a comic book geek and all that. So um
Where
but
does the
I
passion come from, though? You're like writing a lot. You're getting punched in the face, and you just keep going. What keeps you going?
I'm crazy. I I mean, I feel really bad when I don't do any writing. And like I haven't done any significant writing in the past few months because I've been making stupid robot animations, which so I got to have some sort of like artistic outlet or else I kind of freak out. Um but yeah, I'm like constantly like my wife will tell you I'm a complete bitch because I'm pissed off all the time because I'm not getting anywhere with it. Like I'm really angry and full of rage all the time, and I run around the house like just cursing and screaming and stuff, and I'm like, "Fuck this sucks! I'm gonna shoot myself. Maybe I'll sell some books." just it's just I am like the most miserable person. Like I have like my fellow authors who talk to me are probably sick of me. Like, oh God, here she comes. And if you catch me in the morning, I'm worse than the afternoon. In the morning, I'm just evil, and I was like, I hate
You
everything.
deserve the
Yeah,
Margret. You have like your own title. It's like clear the way. But
yeah.
I love your candor. And if I'm kind of a newbie, especially at science fiction. So this Johnny Fazzuli's my debut, and it was awesome. I like locked myself in my apartment for like 2.5 months, and I did like 18-hour days to finally get it done. I,
That's
I went
awesome.
I went crazy too, and it was that's like the highlight of my whole adult life. I think that creative sprint, it was astonishing, and I totally relate. Like if I'm not spewing content, if I'm not creating it and spewing it, I start to freak out too. I'm a compulsive content creator and sharer. So I rant on TikTok. I do 3 to 5 videos on average every day. First person in my kitchen, just going off on politics and everything, blasting TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, even Patreon. I throw it up there. And then I'm on Substack and I just jam it down everyone's throats. And I got like 5 podcast shows. In the last year, I've done 300 episodes, I think, in the last
That's
year.
awesome. That's awesome. Yeah,
So totally relate. And the reason I'm branching out into multimedia is because I had a lot of the frustrations you do, which is it's like I'm on Medium for 2-3 years. No one gives a shit. I've got like 500 blog posts on Medium, screenplays, plays, op-eds, personal memoirs, stories. Unless you're trolling around and like liking everyone else's bullshit and like
oh my
playing the
God.
game, the quid pro quo game, no one gives a shit, really. It doesn't matter if you're good or bad. So I got stressed out. I mean, I'm sitting here like a maniac typing, and then on impulse, I just did a video. Like I predicted that Kamala Harris would win, and obviously she got her ass kicked, right? So
Well,
I my phone and I did a selfie video in front of my Peloton bike, and it was weird and awkward. It was 2.5 minutes long, and within 20 minutes, I got 400 views and 50 comments.
Wow.
That's more attention than I got on Medium publishing for 2 years.
The other day I was stressing out because I made a video which could have been controversial, and I was like having nightmares about it. Oh my God, what if they think I'm a hater and I'm like this and I'm that? And I'm like, wait a second, that could be like the best thing that happened to me if someone actually was offended.
I piss off everyone, So the left thinks I'm a Trump maniac, and the right thinks I'm a libtard. Any kind of nuance in the conversation, and they think you're on the other side. So I annoy everybody, and it
That's
doesn't
awesome.
really bother me. It's like beat me, bore me, don't ignore me. But I guess the overall point here is getting attention in this crazy tsunami of content.
Yeah, but like what you were saying, the whole, clicking on everyone's stuff and liking it and commenting and like being like, oh yeah, I love you. You're great. Now love me back. It doesn't work for me. I suck at it. I really suck at dealing with people's norms. Like, it's like I'm Gen X. I don't give a fuck. I don't care. Um,
I'm with you. I hate it too. And that quid pro quo naked opportunism of this whole social media clusterfuck is just so sickening, right? And it's like,
yeah.
so if you want to build a following, you need to just follow others for the sake of it.
Yep.
I get that stuff all the time, and now the bots are doing it too. I was
Yeah.
talking to another guest like the other day. I get a comment. It's like, your characterization of this situation in this piece was so insightful, and it goes on like the dude actually read what I wrote and gave a shit and had an insight. So I wrote him back. I go, I really appreciate it. What do? I subscribe to his Substack, and I go through his shit, and I like a bunch of his stuff. And then 5 minutes later, I go, he didn't even look at my stuff. He just programmed a Claude agent to go scrape his Substack. It commented on my shit, and now I'm on his list. Benefit anybody.
They wait for you to subscribe to their shit and then they unsubscribe from you. That's what they do. They suck. They suck. Everyone, I'm sorry for all the people on social media, but you suck. I run around hating everybody, and it makes me so mad. The thing that I hate the most are the thirst trap videos with the bouncing bimbos. Holy hell. I hate. I'm like, oh my God, would I have been like that if I was like growing up now? Would I have been bouncing on the videos when I was young and hot? Oh my God.
At least you would have given it a shot. My most hated is when you've got like a couple, and it could be gay, straight, left, right, doesn't matter. And you could tell that it's been scripted.
Yes.
So you got the angle from his point of view, her point of view, whatever. And then there's the situation. It's all such bullshit.
Everything is fake. It's all fake. And it's like, so how do you get through the crap with all this fakeness? I nobody wants to hear, like, I'm just like this tiny little voice that nobody wants to hear from. It's not like I'm going to get to the ear of anyone important that's going to actually say, oh look, there's Margaret, how could I help Margaret today? Nobody gives a fuck. And it's just like I get so mad. I just like, I almost quit doing this. Like I would say about like 20 times a day. I get so angry. I'm just like, what the fuck? I hate you all. You all suck. My life sucks. But you can't give up. Like I'll bitch at Chat GPT. I'm like, I tell it it's sabotaging me. I'm like, you motherfucker, you're sabotaging me. You suck. And it's like, okay. It's just like, okay.
Totally relate to everything you're saying, and I feel pretty much the same way. But take all this with just a bald-headed grain of salt. This is what helps me out. Number one is they don't give a fuck about us. So why should we give a fuck about them? That's like, just mirror it,
Mm.
reciprocate. And if you free yourself of that expectation and just get into the love of the writing, you brought this up earlier, that you feel shitty if you didn't create something today, right?
Right.
So forget about everybody else. Just focus on the joy of creativity, even if it's in a vacuum or it's a semi vacuum. That's number one. Number two is you got to pay to play. I'm coming to this realization that you're pissing in the wind if you don't pump some coin back into the system, because the whole system's rigged in the sense that content is so plentiful that there's no benefit for these platforms to promote you when the other guy is paying already. So we need to fork up some dough. And by this, I mean $5 a day, $10 a day. Instead of going to the Starbucks, do a feature video and pay to get some impressions. I'm learning that after like a year of podcasting and years of writing, you're dead in the water without paid promotion. And I'm not saying you gotta mortgage your house, but if you don't do that, it's unlikely that anyone is going to even see you, let alone give a shit.
But if you do that, like say in TikTok or whatever, and I've done that, but I noticed that it really doesn't have an impact except for that one video that it boosted, and then it's artificial and it doesn't actually help the algorithm feed you more. Like it's all about that stupid fucking algorithm that I
100%.
hate.
Yeah.
I hate that thing. And I will sit there and on my videos I will optimize every frame on the freaking thing. I will spend 2 hours on Sora trying to generate the right video and hope that it doesn't put like a nose on the top of the head or some bullshit like that.
All of these are awful with iterations. Like you
Yeah.
ask it to tweak one thing and the whole fucking thing is different for the
Right.
next version, right?
Exactly. And
Yeah.
so yeah, when you finally get the right clip that's like raw enough and bit long enough that you can do something with, and you spend like 3 hours optimizing it so every frame will like keep eyeballs on it and doesn't like, um does it like there's no dead time where someone can just like swipe away, and you go through all that crap and you get a perfect video, and then you feed it to like YouTube, and YouTube sends it to 3 people, and all 3 people love it and loop it like 72 times and like
Yeah,
it,
because
but it
you're
won't
not
send it to anyone else.
then you got to do all the SEO bullshit on the back end too. You got
Yes.
to tag it, and then you got, it's not for kids, and then the meta tags, and then it's not generated by AI, but yours is, and it goes on and on. They ask you to do all the heavy lifting for the production, for the upload, and then they tell you to go fuck yourself unless you want to pay them for promotion.
And the
So
thing is though,
that's just the reality of it.
and sometimes they'll go like, I'll have some of my videos hit like 2-3 thousand, and some of them will hit 3 people, and the ones I've worked hardest on are the ones that don't get shit.
For me, it's like random. Like I get the exact same experience. It's like I'll rant in my kitchen, and then completely randomly I get like 2,000-3,000 views and a ton of hate, which I don't mind. And then the next one, literally to your point, I get 2 views. And there's nothing qualitatively different between one video and the other. It's just the algorithm is like, hey, Mookie, we'll give you 2,000-3,000. This other one gets 2. Pay us. Pay the beast, right?
But you
And
pay it and it doesn't
I
sustain.
haven't paid anything really.
Yeah.
So I'm on TikTok. I have a bit of a following on TikTok because I randomly did a video for the Kurdish people, because I have a friend who's a Kurd, and I did a Kurdish advocacy video. It went to 650,000 views.
Wow.
And like a proportionate number of likes and comments. And then my profile blew up with one freaking viral video. And it's not like I'm riding on the Kurds, but I've had a few viral videos that kind of like...
That sounds like a book title, Riding on the Kurds.
So I haven't paid for anything either. And for me, it's kind of like hearing you rant is such a catharsis for me. You're like my favorite guest out of my
Oh, thank
300
you.
so far because you're so pissed off and you're so frank about it that this is great. And
Yeah.
it mirrors my own feelings and my own experience cranking this shit out and more or less flying under the radar.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you know, well, I have other tales of horror, but yeah, I mean, it's I just my experiences have been everything. Life has overpromised and underperformed for me. The whole you work really hard and you'll get somewhere. You know, you work really hard and people will call you racial slurs and tell you that you're not allowed to touch a server because you have no PP. So, yeah, that's my life. Um, so yeah, I mean things are better now for me. Like in my IT career, it's better. But I sit there and I break my head trying to solve complex technical problems, and then I'm trying to write, and I got some dumbass bitch bouncing on the screen with like 100,000 views, and I'm like, what the actual fuck? I just
Yeah.
I can't take it. I'm like, what is being stupid like a positive trait now? Is that what it is?
Number one, big tits. Number one, big tits. Number two, just be goofy and available, right? And then I have an adopted niece. So my former wife's niece from Korea. Okay, so I get a tap on the shoulder. We adopt her. Okay, and I'm like, I guess. So we ship her over from Korea. She's 10 years old. And she spent more time growing up with me than she did with her own parents in Korea. And now she's living in Manhattan. She's on her way. She doesn't really give a shit. She's like, thanks, Daddy O, for my green card, you know. But anyway, the point I'm making is she's not on OnlyFans as far as I know, but she's on Instagram and she gets 1,000 times the engagement on Instagram that I do because she's hot. She wears skimpy shit. She has a bunch of sexy girlfriends, and they go to all of these raves. She's
Oh,
in
geez.
Cancun. She's in Puerto Rico. She's all over. And then there she is, you know, and her Instagram is blowing up. So I bring her over here and she's kicking my ass on social media because she's just showing some leg and and having cocktails with the guys, right?
My coworker told me that his son's girlfriend gets like $1,000 a day from curling her hair on TikTok. And I was like, I can't talk to you now, man. I can't. I can't. And I'm like, Is it really that prevalent? I mean, I'm telling you, man, if I was like 20 when this stuff came out, I would have been probably the bouncing bimbo, which makes me even sadder.
Why not? I'm pretty much a libertarian at heart, so I feel like you should just go do it. And an unregulated kind of open environment is better than some asshole in the government telling us what to do. That's just my general point of view. So should this shit be illegal? No. I think everyone should just do their thing. And I think it's great. And even my adopted niece, I hardly ever see her, but God bless. She is like showing leg in Cancun and getting 30,000 likes, right? Go for it. But it begs the question of us as science fiction writers, as more serious writers, putting our blood, sweat, and tears into content and trying to get it in front of people and get some kind of traction.
Yeah, I mean, I would really love it if the algorithm would actually, like, lean towards intellectual stuff for a change. I mean,
Right.
would it be so terrible for us to have some brain cells when we watch it? It's just, it kills me. It's mind numbing. And like, some of the stuff you see, you're like, really? Like, when you get a flat Earth video and you're like, are you fucking kidding me? Really? They're still at it, I thought we went through the whole your experiments didn't work, crap. But no, we have all this crap that's and people believe it. And so we are getting stupider as time progresses. And I just,
It's boosting information, which is exciting, controversial, and even on the surface, total bullshit. And
mhm.
people are like clicking the shit out of it because it's like provocative and they feel smarter, even though it's particularly stupid.
Yep, yep. I mean, I used to joke around that my conspiracy theory was that states that began with vowels didn't exist, and I'm kind of thinking maybe I need to start hyping that more online and seeing if I can get a cause going, and maybe that will be it. Ah, Idaho doesn't exist. It has an I in the beginning. It's a lie. I
And
mean,
oh, by the way, Japanese robots love to dance, and then you could just slip that shit right in there. I had a couple of guests on, last month or so, and what's come out of the conversations is to dovetail off what you're saying about the algorithm is you and I have been saying Chatty Bro is okay, right? You can make images and it can help us with our stuff. No shame in that. It's not going to write our book, but it can do it. Now, another positive aspect of AI is that it can make the algorithm better. All right. So I got my book, and I know that there's probably like 20 to 50,000 people who would think my book is the bomb. And they might be in an MIT like think tank, and they might have Asperger's, and they, might have grown up with some of the same stuff I did. But I'm telling you for sure, if I could match with the right audience, they would love my book. I'm convinced of that. I love my book. I wrote the book that I wanted to read. So I can't be the only guy, or person who's like freaky like this. The problem is the connection. And what does AI do better than anything else, which is machine learning? It could scan the shit out of my book, and then it knows everything about the audience because everyone's got a digital fingerprint and profile. So here's my prediction. The silver lining of this AI revolution is instead of going on YouTube and meta tagging and doing all that nonsense, I would pay YouTube or these other ones like hundreds of dollars a month, frankly, if it could do a good job connecting me with my audience, which it's not doing right now. And I
uh,
see I see no reason that AI can't get us there. You know what I mean? You know the audience, you know what they're reading, you know what they like, and you're doing a shit job of analyzing my content and putting the two together. Connect the dots. And if you could do that, I'll pay you. I'll pay you. I'll like forego a visit to the In-N-Out Burger if I could get some guy who would love my book.
I agree. I tried to get ChatGPT to do that for me, by the way, and I just pissed off a whole bunch of people in Reddit. So they did not want me to pimp my stuff there. But but yeah,
Reddit is picky like that. They don't even
yeah.
let you post unless you hang out. And actually, TikTok's like that, like Book Talk. You
Mhm.
do hashtag Book Talk on TikTok. Unless you're hanging out there and
Mhm.
interact and they know you, they're not going to post your shit because it's like free advertising. I do the book talk, I'm like celebrating. I just did a memoir, and then I did a play, and I did posts, and I did a book talk. You
Nothing.
get no traction because you're trolling. You're just dipping in there when you feel like promoting your own stuff.
Well, see, now we need to follow each other, and I can leech off of your TikTok.
All right, sounds good. Yeah, follow me. I'm Mookie Multiverse. The other thing is, I don't see you on Substack. Not that Substack is all that, but
I haven't
that's
been
another,
on Substack.
because that way it generates its own mailing list.
Ah, okay, gotcha. Yeah, I haven't done that yet. I just like I have so many irons in the fire, and I just like I can't keep doing it. And then I went on Instagram, but I ignore it mostly. I just post to it and ignore it because I get so brokenhearted looking at my stats
You get a
everywhere else.
nervous breakdown. You probably see my niece in Cancun, and you're like,
Yeah, screw her. I'm gonna go smack that bitch. Yeah.
"Hey, this is my
Yeah.
favorite catharsis and rant so far. You're the best. You're
Oh,
my
it's what I do.
favorite. You're my favorite guest."
Thanks.
Let's talk a little bit about your books, though.
Yes.
Because I think that they sound fascinating. Now, is there a connection between the Japanese robots love to dance and the Death Engine protocol? Is it are they is Death Engine protocol a sequel to that, or are they connected, or same
Yeah,
characters,
well,
same world?
same world, and one of the main characters from one of the stories in Japanese robots is the main character, the second main character in Death Engine. So one of the robots that appear in Japanese robots is a main character in Death Engine.
Okay, cool. Give us your author pitch. Like, tell,
If you
tell us tell us a little. I'll cut the clip and then I could put it on YouTube with you pitching the
Oh
book.
my gosh, I suck at this. So Japanese robots is a humorous romp of robotic chaos. So I have it's basically a tied together. They call it a stand-up novel. It's a whole bunch of short stories with one main character that runs through it. It's about there's an attorney called Gary Legal who represents robots, and in a couple of stories he represents other people, but he started representing robots because it pissed off his father, um, who's a politician. But he represents a robot that just wants to dance as a domestic robot, and stages a robot walkout where nobody works for a while until the case gets resolved. He represents a garbage truck with an AI embedded in it. Who's a military vet. The robot is a military vet. He represents a robot that was a government project that went and replaced all its body parts so that it wouldn't be owned by the government anymore. Um, and so and also it also he also does a first contact with a bunch of aliens that won't deal with the government, and they send him because they know that he's good at that kind of stuff.
Now,
But
Gary Legal is human, right? He's a
yes,
human
he is
lawyer.
human. He is a human lawyer.
That's a terrific premise with because you're assuming that the AI is sentient and autonomous to the point where they can have legal representation. and
Right,
then to,
right.
and then to create these situations where normally you would just think humans get into the scrape and get represented is fun.
Yeah, and there's a lot of humor in Japanese robots. It's a lot. It's actually fairly light. There's a trip out of the solar system where they drive through a tourist trap, which is goofy, and they there is an outer or a Lovecraftian type god they deal with at one point, but it's all silly. Um, yeah, I mean, it's fun reading. It's the kind of reading that if you want to read in small chunks, you can. But most people who have read the books that they read it in one sitting.
Right. I saw that one review you had. I've never like just inhaled a book. So they inhaled that book for you.
And Death Engine is a little darker, a lot darker. It has a lot of gore in it. I didn't mean to do that. It just kind of came out that way. There's a lot of violence. There's a lot of sarcasm. There's a lot of rage. It's just it has a person who can't die in it, and she attempts like she her last attempt is just to go write it out in an old folks home and age and die, but then some moron goes and kills her again, and she regenerates and then resets again, and she's best friends with one of the robots from Japanese robots, and then they have a to thwart a plan that a global problem and save the world and all that fun stuff, and they kind of reluctantly do that, and there are a couple other characters that are fun that show up in there. um
That's fun. Again, it's
yeah,
got the Douglas Adamsy feel, like a little bit of Marvin in some of it. There's like the cynical robot. And
well the thing is that both characters are really super powerful, but their own being powerful is its own limitation, so they're just like kind of miserable, um but in different ways. So yeah, it's not like Mary Sue level kind of stuff. It's like they're actually just like, just like the robot is actually very, very chillaxed and zen in its thinking, while the human is just like completely just psychotic, and because of circumstance. So the robot's her anchor, and they play off of each other. And then there's another character in there who's a also like a super soldier type, but not really. She went through recovery, so she's just she was no good for the military, so they let her out of her contract, but she has like powers and stuff, but she's just like watching this insanity, and is kind of like, you guys are crazier than I am. So they actually end up fixing her up just by being weirder than her. She thought she was like a basket case, and she realized that, I'm really not that bad. So yeah, I mean, I have trouble like putting it into words. It's kind of one of those things you have to read, but really like Death Engine is just rage and sarcasm and violence, and there are a lot of jokes in there too, and
Good
action.
for you. Are you a Lovecraft fan, or are you, as far as the organic or emergent gore and kind of
Well,
gothic style
I'm not
that
really gothic. I like Lovecraft. I like Lovecraftian stories, but let's face it, sometimes Lovecraft is a snooze fest with the over descriptions. Um,
Victorian-y in that sense? There's a
yeah,
lot of
yeah.
guilt and filigree with the prose, purple prose,
Hmm.
right? Old school. But
Yeah.
even in your endurance story, I got that flavor where you got the science fiction setting. Not to spoil it, they're in the escape pod, and then you do flashbacks to how they got there, and it's melding futuristic sci-fi with essentially a séance and a magical kind of summoning.
Yeah.
And that to me seemed Lovecrafty a little bit. Like you do the juxtaposition of the banal with the sacred.
Yeah, yeah. And that I wrote when I was in a really dark place. I was really, really, really depressed when I wrote that. And I just like funneled all my misery into that one, and it came out okay. I like the way that came out. That was a yeah, that one is like, again, it has like the sarcasm and the humor in parts of it, but then it gets really dark in that one. So yeah, I did throw in the love, because Lovecraft is really good for putting like that like uncertain darkness in things. Like you really can't describe what you're feeling, why, but it's there, and that's Lovecraft right there.
Sudden, it's kind of like a seance, and then they summon something that they didn't anticipate, and then
Yeah.
off to the races. And I like the circularity of it, that it kind
Oh,
of,
it's
winds
like a
back.
perfect TikTok video.
There you go. And too bad Sora is shut down. We could have done a Sora video of endurance, right?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, that one actually was fun when it came together, even though when I started it I was in a bad place. When I finished it I was like, "Oh, this came out really great." So that was cool. Um
And just from a technical point of view, the incantation, did you make it up, or did you go to like an Aleister Crowley occultist
oh,
book?
I made it up. I would never put anything even like fictitiously real in there, because like who knows? I don't want to be accidentally having someone summon something. I'm not going to go grab anything real.
After my mom died, I got really into the occult. I was always into writing and literature and Jung. And then I researched into, the Aleister Crowley stuff, and then the Ordo Templi Orientis and all that kind of zany stuff. And then I had all of his books I carried around with me. And then I was wondering if it had some of the mojo. And I couldn't tell whether the mojo was good or bad, right? He is a great writer, by the way. It's like a lot of these writers are cliche. Like you listen to Ozzy, and he's got Mr. Crowley. Aleister Crowley was an amazing writer in his own right. He had some zany shit, but a lot of it is pretty cool. Idea of the true will and all that. All these different sources I think are really cool, for especially for science fiction, because you look for that juxtaposition. Great
Yeah.
science fiction writers don't just go ape shit with world building and techie out. because that kind of sucks. You just need the character, you need the human element. And one of the oldest tropes, going back to Forbidden Planet, is that sense of mystery, right? Like, you can have the highest, most sophisticated technology in the universe, but at its core, there's a deeply emotional element, which is by nature mysterious, alluring, and if you're good, a little bit of horror. It's got to be scary. There's something visceral and nasty and ancient lurking behind all this stuff, which you can't even really explain rationally. And the
Hmm.
technology is just a tool. And the more forward we go, the further back we get sent.
It's true. I mean, a lot of what makes a good story good is what you leave out too. You
Yes.
know, you got stuff for the reader to fill in. I've always been a fan of not over describing stuff, because then, there's nothing for the reader to imagine.
Yeah. Yeah, there's over description, and there's also descriptions with irrelevant stuff, which plagues the genre. Like this obsession with explaining stuff, explaining science, having some cool idea, and then the characters are no longer human. They're just these cardboard cutouts of people spewing bullshit or telling you what the story is with no real drama. It's not like
Right.
emerging out of the struggle of the characters, but you have some idea that you think is cool. What if
Yep.
what if we could create antimatter and get limitless energy? What if aliens could live on the surface of a star? What if? That's a great kind of start. But where the real drama is, you put real people into a situation where they're screwed and they got to get themselves out of it, and then you get yourself into that situation.
I usually start with characters. I usually get the characters first, and then I get the plot. So, you know,
I've been obsessed with the multiverse idea ever since I was a kid, because I was wondering, like, is there a God? Like, okay, and then why are we here? And why is the universe the way it is? And the multiverse idea kind of solves all these problems. You can't prove it, and it's inductive logic and reasoning. But if there's an infinite number of universes, we just happen to be in one where the physical laws enable us to be here and evolve. And if there's an infinite number of universes, then every possibility is playing itself out.
yeah. Well, you are right now are Batman. Everyone gets to be Batman.
Right. And there's a universe where we're both like, smoking cigars and drinking bourbon, that we both got our bestsellers.
Right.
so,
Exactly.
so then I wrote a bunch of stuff, and it all sucked because I just focused on the multiverse. Like, the characters didn't really have anything going on, but I was just illustrating concepts. You could jump universes, and then you could kind of have your wish fulfilled. Because if you can imagine a universe that's out there where everything's the same except you happen to be a billionaire or dating Scarlett Johansson, then there you go. But I didn't think about the implications to the character, and I didn't really construct the story around the character. And then the story that I included in the anthology that we're both in for 2026 was really my epiphany, where it's not about the multiverse. It's about the character who faces infinite possibility and uses it as a scam. He's a hustler, and he promises people he could fulfill their wishes by jumping fucking universes. That's a good
I
story.
have a story like that, and it's not exactly the same. I'll have to send it to you. It hasn't been accepted anywhere, but it's heavily in politics, and it's somebody wanting more than the United States of America and wanting the whole world, and they get sold a pocket universe.
That's a great idea. It's very similar.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like rule that roost, buddy.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I had something and I lost it, but yeah, I agree with you. Like, did the whole stainless steel rat. How did you feel about stainless steel rat?
I'm not familiar with it.
Holy hell, you need to read Stainless Steel Rat. Everything you've told me, and there are a lot of short stories of it too. So you can catch the short stories and then do the full novels. Find Stainless Steel Rat, old timey, good science fiction that you will totally dig.
All right, similar theme. I'm really not familiar with it. That's cool.
Oh no, it's
Yeah.
not similar. It's about it's a science fiction about someone who is a scammer. Like just
Oh, good. That's like my Johnny.
yeah, you got to read it. You got to check it out.
I'll check that out. See, that's the wonderful thing I love about these conversations is because you get to meet and have a catharsis with other writers. You get to compare notes. You get to complain, and then you learn stuff, right? Like
Yeah.
you've read all this stuff. There's some crossover. Like we're both Hitchhikers fans, but I don't know this one, so I'll check that out.
Oh yeah, check it out. It's fun. And I admit that I don't read a lot of stuff while I'm writing, so nobody can say that I copied off of anybody. So so when I'm in the middle of writing,
I get immersed. It's like a switch, I'm like on and in it, or I'm just kind of floating around, maybe doing other stuff and thinking about it. So
yeah.
what's next for you after the
Well,
death engine protocol? That's fairly recent, right? It's like within the last year you published that, right?
yeah,
If I
it
got
was originally under a different title and badly edited, and then we just dropped the previous title, re-edited it, and re-released it as Death Engine. But yeah, it still hasn't been that long. My next one is going to be called The Dolly Problem, and it's a sequel, and it's another one with lots of robots in it. But
outstanding. And
yes,
what's your writing habit like? Do you dedicate like a couple hours a day when you're not raging and ranting and pissed off?
it's when I actually fall into the mode and I'm able to get into that right frequency to do it. Because I can't force it, and if I mean actually I can sit down and force it, but and I end up like um with my time constraints and all that, I end up just waiting for it to hit me and then I do it. So yeah, and that's when I have like about half the novel done and I need to finish it. And I know that I could just sit down and finish it, but I got to cram for a stupid Microsoft exam. And like anytime I should be doing that, I should be actually cramming for the damn exam, which kind of
Just be
sucks.
happy AI and the agents haven't taken over your job yet.
Not yet, but you know what? I wouldn't be surprised. I just hope it waits till I'm retired before it happens.
Well, good luck. Keep
Thank you.
writing.
Thanks.
And thanks for joining me on the Science Fiction Fantasy Factory floor. The Margret, everybody. This was super fun for me. I had a
Awesome.
great time letting it out. And once again, I appreciate your candor. A lot of people are more measured, and you're so New York. It's one of the things, actually, now that we're chit chatting and raging here, that I do miss about New York, which is, personalities and attitudes like yours, which is just kind of like, fuck it, let it out. Because everyone's so reserved, they're so careful. Like, I'm
Yeah.
representing, and it's just nice to be candid. You
Yep.
want to you want to be human in this inhuman world.
Yeah, yeah. I try, I just am really bad at being reserved. I've tried, it doesn't work. I cannot act appropriately ever.
My mouth and my attitude and my ADHD has gotten me into some scrapes, but it's worth it. It's
Yes.
so damn worth it to be dopamine deprived. In a sense, you're jacked all the time.
Yep.
What could go wrong?
You get your ass kicked, but
Thanks. Like, comment, and share, everybody. It'll be on YouTube and distributed wherever podcasts are had. And thanks for joining us. And we'll have links in the description below for your books and for
yay.
some of the other cool
Buy
stuff.
my shit. God damn it, buy my
Buy,
shit.
buy your shit. We'll put that in big block letters. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Take care. Bye.
Bye-bye.